Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
As you can see in the title, we're back to talk one of our favorites and one of the craziest reality TV shows out there, 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way. We are in season 5, episode 4, entitled Mad About What You Said. This was an interesting episode. I didn't see a ton of positives for a lot of the couples outside of, crazily enough, the return of Yohan, Don't Call Me a Butcher, and Danielle. So I was very surprised to see them come back. I hadn't watched the trailer for the season, and then Brian and Brett had done episode 1, so I didn't realize they were like previewed and stuff. I gotta say, Brian, I know it's early and I know it's gonna turn, but like surprisingly great outing for Yohan in his first appearance this season.
Yeah, I will say I think it's going to be short lived. They're definitely going to get into something very quickly. I'm sure something will pop up. I wonder if the butcher shop was just a cloud over his head, and now that stress off him, he's feeling a little better.
The meat game is tough. You know, it's very, the hustle and bustle may have stressed out the early marriage, but we did get to see Danielle's teased car scene. She legit ran the stop sign.
Yeah, she's a piece of shit.
That was hard. She ran the stop sign like completely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
she's a maniac.
She's lucky that she didn't get in an accident.
She should have.
She would have got beat up.
She should have gotten in an accident.
Yeah.
And she would have deserved it.
Yeah.
100%. Her friends came there. He charmed them a little bit. Like I said, let's see how it progresses. But again, I do want to give a little bit, start with a little positive, that seeing Yohan and Danielle back, when I found that out, I was like, ugh. But now I do like seeing a little positivity before the inevitable probably dip that we're going to see.
Gizmo. That's how you know they're moving along in the relationship. You got a dog.
Nice dog. Brandan and Mary. Brandan and Mary. Brandan had to, this is great. So we got more context, right? You and I and Brett have been questioning, like, and I made the joke, like he's like the elder because it's his house. But I was always curious that, like, why are the grandparents there? Right? Like, why are they there? Their house got destroyed by a typhoon.
Yeah, they did fail to mention that in the previews.
And that changes the situation a lot. However, it doubles down on my kind of facetious point though last week, that like, where do they get off? Like, where do they get off telling him what he can and can't do in his house?
I agree with you. I think that I think the culture is overriding the house. That's where I think they're at. That. Do I agree with it? Not 100%, but that's where I think they're thinking.
And my reasoning for bringing this up, though, isn't to really cast a ton of shade on the grandparents. We know whose fault this is.
Yeah, I mean, it's hers.
It's Mary's fault. Mary's so jealous, afraid, and this whole bubble life she's been living with him and all, like, just tell the guy this is what to expect.
Yeah.
Is that cool with you? He probably would have been like, look, I'm not going to come across the world to be dictated, but now he's literally all in. Yeah. And he, again, there's a very good chance this dude leaves. I mean, let's just be frank. Like, she is not ready. And it's, again, I don't mean this as there's anything like wrong with her, but like, she's abandoned by her parents. She grows up in this place. She hasn't been able to grow. She's never even been kissed until literally the episode before. She's got this guy who literally like defiantly left his family and literally living on his own in a pretty comfy situation at his godparents' house and a whole trailer, right? This whole thing, to then be say like, you can't kiss or do what you want to do in a house that you spent your life savings on. Like, I'm just going to tell you, the guy's young and he may be mature, but like there's a breaking point that comes pretty quick. They don't have hot water, Brian.
Yeah, when she was like, "Oh, you just gotta boil it," he's like, "Yeah, I'm used to that," or something. He said something along those lines. Like,
no, he said that's fine. He's got dead eyes, dude. This is horrible.
Yeah, it's a terrible living condition. I just think the horniness is like putting the wool over the eyes of everything else. Like, he's so horny. He wants to bust a nut so bad. He can't eat everything else. He's pushing to the side.
He needs to have sex with her, because once that happens, and like then she's not gonna like maybe even be into her, be comfortable again. It's just she's young in the shade. Then you said that fog will clear, and he's like, "This is what I'm." Bro, those grandparents aren't going to get like they don't have Allstate coming next week to cut them a check, bro. Their hut's in a fucking river somewhere, and they're never going to leave.
They know
Until
what's
they
going
die.
down
They live
too.
forever. Those people. They
They
live.
know, yeah, and they know what's
And I
going
don't mean a
down.
racial thing. Like people live in like villages, or the people like are like in civil skinny people. They live forever. They don't.
I mean,
They have no processed food ever in their lives. They don't smoke. They don't drink. Like they live forever. It's this guy's gonna the geckos, rats, and those grandparents forever. In Catholic Church, apparently.
they know what's going down too. They're like no lovemaking. Like they know that he's trying to smash.
Respect us.
I thought he was gonna like if he was really like a dog, he could have been like they did say just love making. We could do anything else, but he's not like that. I don't think he's got that. He doesn't
He's
have that.
Bowser. Can I get a Bowser?
What'd you say?
I said, can you get it the Bowser?
Yeah.
Like, something.
It was
Poor kid.
And he's like, he has underwear. He's like, well, this is underwear that like shows off your bulge. It's like that to me looks like normal ass underwear.
Kids got their Hanes, dudes. Like,
yeah, jockey. Like, these aren't like sacks.
These are fruit of the loom. Fruit of the
like,
loin.
Pair of thieves or whatever. Like nicer. Yeah.
He lied to them too about the kiss on the airport. So if they haven't found out during the stay, hopefully they don't have television.
I'm gonna say that they probably don't have electricity.
Chat, what do you think the over under odds? I might make a TikTok. This is a great TikTok poll tomorrow. I'm gonna make this like, what are the percentage chances that they are watching this?
Yeah, here's the poll. What do you think is gonna happen first? There's gonna be like they're gonna see this episode, or like Holly and whatever won't have a break in for like 3 months.
You were talking about Holly and Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne. Couldn't think of his name. I was like going to say like something Marvin, but
Wayne might be the dumbest person on this show because he's objectively got the easiest situation. Like, yeah, he's got the mother-in-law there, but like, bro, like you do live like in a shitty ass area. Like, let's
yeah, and you can't tell your you can't tell her that your wife, significant other, that she dresses like a prostitute.
Dog, she's practicing Jehovah's Witness like practices. She's not an active Jehovah, but they're following those guidelines. Like, back off, cuz.
Yeah, dude, she could be. I don't even think she's dressing that bad. I mean, I think really just is because she's more attractive.
Bro, she's a American, like middle age, say like divorced or like not single woman. She's got like fake boobs. She wears low cut shirts and she wears like kind of short skirts. But that's fucking normal. I actually think I think he was being literal. Like, I think he dead meant because he knows how like scummy a lot of the areas around there.
That's
like,
what I think.
Her walking around some of like the neighborhoods, like people would actually like approach her thinking she's a prostitute.
Yeah, I knew what he was trying to say. He just should have said it in a way better way. Don't say prostitute. Like,
he had to flip the subject and the predicate. Like, he needed to let her know, like, because our country, my town, scuzzy, they would think you're dressing like a slut. Like, that's what he should have said. But he was like,
you know what? Use like provocative. Don't use prostitute, or it's like you could use better words.
I also think he was like shopping in a flea market.
They did. And I love when he was like going through the dress. He's like, no, not this one, not this one. Like it's his like.
Where's the mom in that situation? Was she there too in the dressing room? Because I think she was only crying to like the camera person.
No, she was there. She was there.
Was she there? I didn't catch her. I mean, I was watching,
wasn't,
but
talking at all. She's just like,
well, that's probably why
like
I didn't see
a fly
her.
on the wall.
They're gonna be fine. I think honestly, they're just like relative. I think once they're married and we hate to be like Krug again. Once he can have sex too, like he'll be fine.
Cast.
They're
so
horny cast.
They're so horny. I mean, they're both trying to have.
You know who this may be the least horny couple? Kimberly and Tj. Kimberly is not wrong. This dude is. This happens a couple. Actually, I got another guy who I hate worse than him. TJ's my second worst, and you got to be pretty bad to be my second worst person on this show. But this guy, we've seen it. You know why? Because we had who was the dude last season?
It was Rishi. It's literally the
Yeah,
exact
he's like, oh, he's kind of like Rishi. Rishi was worse because he was lying to his family too,
yeah.
right? This dude's worse in a way because like he gets in this fight. It looks like shit. The apartment looks like shit. But and as soon as he gets in a fight with his girl, his fiance, he goes and he starts complaining to his parents and cousin, and they're just
Yeah, he
shit
walks
talking
downstairs.
in Hindi while she's just sitting there crying. And it's like I
Yeah.
hate like talk that S in English, right? Like
And you can't abandon her. Like they bring up points where like I understand, I'm not saying I agree with him, but like I understand the where he's coming from a tiny bit where it's like, oh, it's far away to do this. But yo, she sacrificed more than you're sacrificing. She literally moved from America to here. You haven't had to do anything except oversee a project.
no, I agree. It's
And
like
you're leaving her alone. Like that you had a fight, she's upset. You're leaving her alone. She has nobody to turn to in the country except you. And you're downstairs bad mouthing her to your family.
and we are going to get that. It's a great transition, Brian, to and I didn't intend. I actually intentionally just didn't feel like talking about this guy right away because I really can't stand this dude, Julio. Julio might be the biggest coward I've ever seen on this show. This
Yeah.
guy has an objectively, again, beautiful woman who lives in a very safe country, who has been very kind to you, who is coming over to like meet all of your family and everyone before you move, because I think it's a very kind gesture, who has found out that you have lied about her existence until she literally is in New York about to
Mhm.
go to Long Island. And then you choose all the moments to bring up your insecurities and like honest, practical things to maybe bring up, or at least things that like a person would at least in a conversations back forward would have with their potential partner from another country in front of his family multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
This guy is a pussy, dude. And I don't even use that word lightly. This guy is the epitome. I don't, people use that term to be like tough guy. He is just like, who like brings up like, oh, maybe you should actually come live here for a few months when you have 12 of your family members playing freaking dominoes and surrounding her. How
Yeah.
about then bringing up, like, well, maybe I do want to move to Europe, but like I was like, if the first time they ever met it and he went like, I'm actually really interested in moving to Europe and getting my own place, and then it's like she could have been like, oh, you should move to this village, like that would have been a normal way to do it. But don't promise this girl the world.
Yeah.
Then this guy knew what the reaction his family was going to have.
Yeah, because remember we were wondering like what is going to happen with this relationship. Like we were trying to figure out what is going to be the fissure, and this is the fissure.
The fissure is what this guy is trying to do
Yeah,
right
she's like
now.
legit all in. She's
He's
literally all in.
trying, you know what he's trying to do? He's trying to get her to leave.
Yeah, he doesn't
He
want to
could
be
be
the one
big
that did
baby. He could be big baby to go back to mommy's lap, and then big baby to go back to the dominoes game. And like,
this.
it's just like, I have no sympathy for this guy, frankly. Like, I, we watch a lot of reality TV people, and I mean like a lot of
Yeah,
reality
too
TV.
much. Too much.
And this guy bothers me more than I think. He's in like the literally S tier of bother. That's gonna be a great rankings we do one day going back to videos, people that bothered us the most.
Yeah,
This guy is up there to the point like we had even with our guy Jamie, who's now our buddy. Like, I would want to talk to this dude and be like, come on,
yeah. What are you
man. Like,
doing, man?
you know what you did here, right? Like, you dog, like, come on, like, man to man, not even like, yeah, no tough guy stuff. It's just like, come on.
Yeah,
It's Howard shit.
and that's kind of one of the things that after watching last season reunion that I'm looking forward to is like no one's safe in the reunion. So
Oh,
like
well, the
that's
other,
what
you mean
that's
the
what,
other like guys are going
yeah,
on.
that's what I mean. Like other people are gonna like
Yeah, but do we
have to
have
host
a
like
who
what
was the guy? Who was the like the transition guy?
Gabe.
Gabe. I don't know if we got a Gabe in the
You
actually.
never know, man. We didn't think Gabe was gonna be like that, and he just came in.
Yeah, but no, you know who actually would do it?
Kenny,
Armando and Kenny.
yes, Kenny, Kenny.
Armando and Kenny would do it. All right, so I'll bring them out. I think I've beaten a dead horse. Everyone knows how I feel about them. The whole thing, oh, please, in the devil costumes.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. Like
Yeah, she got great eyebrows, by the way.
he's
Some people are
he,
like, I saw some people dogging it online, like they're trying to call it like manly. I'm like, I see. I mean, my wife like walked in. I was talking about her, and I explained the situation. And my wife, first thing she's just like, "That is a beautiful woman." I'm like, "Yes, it is." And she wants to move him into like a quaint like
Yeah.
fairy village
Right.
in the Netherlands, and she's like Sweden, wherever the F. She's like, "That's wonderful." I was like, "Yeah." He wants her to move to Long Island.
Yeah. No one's safe on the internet, no matter what. You'll always have a feature that somebody can bash.
Um, Armando and Kenny, like we've blown them off intentionally because they've been boring. I did promise last week we would talk about them this episode, but I think this one was deserving. Kenny, I don't think Kenny spoke the whole episode.
He didn't have a right to speak.
He just sat there. He reminded me of like a gym boss, and like Poe just sat there and watched. He's like Giovanni.
He's Brock. He's Brock.
I thought he was like Giovanni sitting there, like
he's waiting for you to walk in. He's waiting for you to walk in from his line of vision.
this mom, and the mom that came out of like a telenovela. She's like, "Are you trying to kill me? You want to punish me? You followed this man." But this is why I want to bring it up, Brian, because I again, we started watching the show last season, so I am not like and this is like its own multiverse. Like there's
I know there's so much.
I talked to friends of mine who are like, this is like what they are only watch is like this show, and it's enough to just like you could have a whole channel just on the whole 90-day like
you really
universe. Eventually, we could have like interns. We'll get somebody to be just our 90-day person. Like they could do it, but like
give us time, people. We'll get there.
No, we'll get there. Trust me. Listen, one of us hits like scratch off one day, like we're both done, and we're just like getting a little warehouse and then off to the races.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I didn't realize is I didn't know that Armando. I knew that he had a daughter, but I thought that it had been maybe like an adoption type thing. I didn't realize that Armando had been married before, and then it was a recent thing with him coming out, and apparently his family, including his mom, just like didn't treat him well. They treated him like shit. Now it makes sense.
That's what I think we talked about it briefly. Like I think Brett was like, "How did they meet?" And they said like they met on like a divorced gay man couple who like, they were originally married to a
woman. Former straight men. Yeah.
That's how they met, and I kind of felt like he did a good job. I think of talking to his mom because
I did too.
I thought what he said was good. Like everything he was saying, I thought was pretty valid.
You know what? He is the anti like Julio.
I like him. I like them both. I just don't really am interested in their.
We watch it for trash. Like I made the joke last week. We are not watching to see if she gets into the good elementary school. You know, like they're okay. Kenny's literally the same age as like the mom, but I will admit that Armando in this storyline this week has bought them like a free token that I will promise that we will cover them again if they are featured next week. Mm-hmm. It may be boring, but we will promise to give them their feature because I'm a man of my word. I also want to talk to these people. I feel like these guys are relatively approachable. I think we just need to follow them on Instagram and like send them DMs. I feel like
I like everybody.
All right, ready? Cool. If I already gave away that I would want to talk to Julio to try to like help like him like realize. Besides that, if there's one person I could talk to, who do you think?
Brandan.
No. I want to talk to Yohan the Bush.
Yeah, I know. We have to pick up. I'd probably have to pick up Duolingo for a little bit, but
I understand. Frankly, like 75%. I took a lot of Spanish even in college. It's the slang. It's slang. They don't use the proper like vernacular all the time, so it's tough. Yeah. I know the verbs usually though. I don't think I have anybody else from this episode.
No, I think that's pretty much it. It's kind of like that's kind of what these are. It's like you just run down.
No, Holly and Wayne was the last one I had. Preview. What the preview show?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I'm a preview. So I would think it's gonna be like I think Brandan and Mary will be a little bit of a slow turn. I think, like you said, the longer he goes without
he's backed up, man. He's
being able to ejaculate.
He has ejaculated, but he hasn't ejaculated from his own somebody else's.
This dude has been live streaming with a girl from the Philippines for like 2 straight years. He thought he was gonna go there. He bought a hut in the Philippines because he thought he was just gonna bang for 2 straight weeks and have like a baby. And instead, he's now got literally he's got 2 villagers, a family of geckos, rats. And a bunch of bugs living in his house with no fucking home.
It was going to be that scene in Ace Ventura where he's banging Courtney Cox and all the animals are watching. That's what he was imagining.
I've been like, I've realized. I said to my wife that that's funny. Is a better term now that you said. I felt like you realize like I'm like a very confident married man that I just go around wearing Hawaiian shirts now, like casually, like I'm hosting like Temptation Island, but it is like I'm just like dressing, walking around like Ace Ventura without the undershirt. Like,
Yeah, that's me. I don't on a weekend, yeah, but during the week I'm dressing for comfort. So that's why I always look
this
like
is so comfortable. That's why I'm wearing my one. This is
yeah.
so, I wear nice material ones. These aren't like paper ones. You saw my Magikarp one, right? I have a Magikarp polo now. So, all right. Well, look, this show's great. Um, People watching, everyone, let us know if there's anything you think we should be watching. I know there's before the 90 day. Someone like give us a little bit of intel, like what you think is worth watching and not watching, covering. We may not be able to put it on YouTube, but we probably can live stream TikTok maybe, or at least do TikTok reviews. We do that for Love Island, Love Island UK. I will have one out either late tonight, this being Tuesday night, or early Wednesday morning. I will have Below Deck, Down Under episode 4. I am like halfway through covering it. So we are like one of the meteoric Below Deck TikTok pages when we choose to actually do the TikTok. So if I did, I'm going to do one more than like one day. All right, cool. I love this show. It's trash. We love all of you, though. You're not trash for watching it. Hit the merch store. It's cool. I'm going to buy some stuff this week, and all we're going to put donations towards like a charity and stuff. It's going to be really cool. It's all the information's in the description, so you know we're not full of crap. But for myself and Brian, until next time, thank you. Peace.